Dr. Anushka Sharma needs no introduction. When you think of Dr. Anushka Sharma, you think of her super specialty eye hospital, which stands for the safest eye care with latest technology, honesty, and a lot of personal care. Her warm smile, reassuring words, and expert surgery have brought relief to thousands in Bhiwandi. She entered Bhiwandi in the year 2002 with a simple dream of providing world-class eye care at affordable rates. She started at the very bottom from scratch, and through her sheer will and determination, she set up her dream hospital within 5 years. She has moved from strength to strength, equipped her hospital with the latest technology, and providing her patients with the latest innovations in surgery. Hello everyone, this is Mohit Sam. I welcome you in my YouTube channel. In this video, we have with us one of the best doctors of our city, and she is very well-known eye specialist, and she is one and only Anushka Sharma. So, at such a young age, you have got so many achievements. How do you feel now?
Well, good morning, Sam. Thank you first of all for having me on your channel. What can I say? Getting accolades for your achievements is wonderful. When we operate a patient and the next day the patient walks in with clear vision, happy, grateful, you get your, those kind of accolades that you get from patients is really what makes your life meaningful. So, and I'm not that very young. I'm flattered that you think I'm young. And yeah, it feels great to be here.
That's great. So can you say something about your early days in childhood before becoming a doctor?
Okay, all I can say is that my childhood was wonderful. I think I credit my mom and dad for giving me the happiest childhood. I was born and brought up abroad in Africa, and my dad used to be on these transferable jobs where we used to live in these big homes, and we've traveled all over Africa. I was born in Tanzania, lived there for 7 years. Then we lived in Zambia for 4 years, and we've traveled all over Botswana. A lot, yes. So my father sent us to international schools, which gave us, a holistic. Like, we got to interact with people of different cultures, races, and that confidence comes in as you can talk to anybody, and you meet other people and you understand their lifestyles. It gave me a wholesome look at the world. And when we were in the 6th, 7th standard, my father felt like we should be studying more, and we need to concentrate on our studies. We decided to come back home. But while we were in Africa, we lived in beautiful homes. We lived in a German heritage home, which is still there. I intend taking my children back there. And what can I say? Happiest childhood memories, 6 dogs, a swimming pool, and just wonderful. I had a wonderful childhood.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So can you say something about your educational journey?
Yeah, okay. It's been a long journey. And as I said, I went to school in Africa. I've been to 6 schools in my life because my dad was in a transferable job, international schools. And that gave me a good overview of how to be with people with other cultures besides Indian students. After that, my dad decided it's better to come back home and study. So I came back when I was in the 6th grade, and I attended Holy Cross Convent, which is at Thana. After that, I went to VG Vaze, Kelkar College at Mulund, which in those days, and I'm sure pretty now as well, it was one of those, it would be an honor to get into that college, because I gotten into on the merit quota. And that was a good 2 years where I realized that we need to actually focus on our future, on the career that we're going to make. Then after that, I went to medical college, that is Terna Medical College. Following which I did my ophthalmology from Railway Hospital in Baikla. Following that, I felt that I needed a little more training. Like, I was an ophthalmologist already, but I needed to, maybe improve my skills and, update and upgrade myself on what the present day scenario is. And I felt that the training till then was good, but I needed to get that little additional, that little cutting edge. So then and my husband was also very insistent that you need to super specialize. So I went to Agarwal Institute, where I did my FICO training. which is for cataract, the phacoemulsification. That's a technique. And following that, then I went to LV Prasad Institute, which is one of the premium institutes of Hyderabad. So that was a very rewarding experience, because it's one of the premium institutes of Asia, and I got to meet a lot of teachers, and taught me a lot of discipline in my line. And I met the best of the best over there, and I realized how focused people can be in their careers, and it motivated me to do better. And then after I came back to Mumbai, after all my training, I was lucky to spend 1 year with Dr. Natarajan. He's a private practitioner, but it gave me a different view on practice. Till now I was handling, as a student, we were in government municipal hospitals where we would be operating, poorer patients. Over here we got to meet more like international, he'd had patients from abroad. So how to handle those kind of patients also, it was a real eye-opening experience. So it's been a journey, it's been a long journey, but I would say each and every point has taught me what I need to know. And by then I was completely ready for private practice, totally primed, I would say.
Okay. So what made you become a doctor? Means anybody inspired you, or it was your choice?
Well, from a very early age, it was my dad's deepest desire that I become a doctor.
Okay.
So it has always been, it was always in my mind that I had to be a doctor. There was no other, it was his motivation also. And also, if a child is taught from a very young age,
to be that means.
Yeah, it was not that he said that you have to be a doctor, but he wanted me to, and I also was inclined towards it. So from school, I had already assumed I'm going to be a doctor, so I was like, I had charted my path accordingly, And plus my dad used to move around with a lot of doctors, and there were a lot of, while we were growing up, we had a lot of doctor friends. So I would see their lifestyle, the amount of respect, the goodwill, the good work they would do, and how much of relief they would bring to people's lives.
Absolutely.
And that was like something that really, it struck me that, why not make a difference like this?
So you are the inspiration of a lot of students and a lot of people. So who are your role models?
Well, as I said earlier, it's my father and mom, especially my father, has really inspired me. While growing up, I would see him working very, very hard. Go to work every day. He used to be persistently, he was a very focused person. He'd go to work, and he was holding a very high position. But he'd be home on time for us for dinner. He'd take time out to teach us. And he has really been inspiring in the earlier days of my life. Then I have to mention my husband, who I got married at a very early age. And he was, when I got married, my husband was holding a very high position. And he's been, MD and CEO of these multinational companies. And I was still studying. I was in transit. I was trying to, I was getting there. So he'd be busy with his work, but continuously monitoring me, I should say. Keeping my vision on my goal, And he would, he's my biggest critic, as well as he's my biggest fan. There should always be somebody who is honest, who will give you a true, you shouldn't have yes men around you always. Someone who will give you a true advice to you. So he was one of my biggest mentors, and he continues to be my biggest critic and mentor. Many times more of a critic than a fan. But yes, he's been one of my role models. And of course, my teachers. I've had such wonderful teachers, starting from my school days to my college, and my mentors in my professional, as in once I joined my ophthalmology the course, the mentors, the people I met there, not only did they teach me my subject, they also taught me their way of looking at things, the way they would approach a patient, their bent of mind, and it's something that I inherited from them. It's a passion in which they look at the subject. So it's not just everyone goes and does studies, but it's that little extra attitude which I learned from the mentors, which continuously, I'm still in touch with many of my mentors, and it's just an ongoing process, So a lot of people who have been my role models actually.
Okay, great. So normally you have a busy schedule, but if you get free time, what exactly you do?
Well, Sam, there's nothing like free time. I have to make that time. But yes, I have two wonderful children, and my daughter is named Niharika. She's 9, and she's a fabulous singer. And I'm trying to encourage her to achieve her dreams. So in my free time, I'm always watching her sing, trying to give her my. I also sing. I used to be into music, not so much now, but I try to guide her as much as I can. I enjoy watching her sing and try to further herself there. Then my little boy, who's 6, Karan, he is a maths wizard, a genius in that. He's always all over the place. You give him a piece of paper, he'll be like working out, and you give him a 200, 300 piece puzzle, he can put it together. So just being around them is what I would think as, free time being the best of my free time. Apart from that, I'm very passionate about fitness. In 24 hours in a day, I remove that 1 hour for myself. I have to say this is time for myself, where I run and I exercise. Mostly I get up early in the morning by 5:30. I'm up before 6, and I do my exercise and my running. It helps me focus. It helps me stay grounded, and I don't know why it's strange to say that, but it helps me feel grateful for what I have. So exercise is very important. And my third passion is traveling. I love to travel. I think God has given us a beautiful planet, and if possible, I want to see every corner of this planet. It's just
Already has seen
many places. I've been to many places. So there are so many. My husband and me once made a bucket list of the places you'd like to meet. So then we ran out of paper, basically. So
you have visited many schools and colleges. So how was the experience? How did you feel there?
Well, I have this special fondness for children, because for the longest time I didn't have my own kids. Niharika came along after 10 years of marriage. So I always felt I needed to do some service for children. So with that aim in mind, we started doing these camps in schools and colleges, where not only would we do the camps, we would call the students over to our hospital if they needed more workup, specialized tests. So free testing, free medicines, all that would be done. Plus, it's also important to educate the children, because they are the faces of tomorrow. So besides conducting camps, we do these teaching programs for children, where we speak to the children, we teach them basics of eye care, and more importantly, we talk to the teachers, because the teachers are the ones who teach the children. And so we we teach them how to spot problems in children. And many times the children, because they're so small, they don't really understand what's happening. So it takes a teacher to understand if there is a problem. So we have special teaching programs for teachers as well. And also it's a community help thing, as in, for example, if a child requires glasses, several times he's teased, and then they don't wear glasses and he falls behind in his studies. So we try to encourage such children. We speak to the teachers, we speak to the students, that if anyone requires glasses, need to encourage the child, no teasing them. So try to make it very conducive for healthcare, for eye care in the schools. So that is my aim, basically. And if any teacher calls me for anything, and we are ready with our services, for whether it is a talk, whether it is a free camp, whether it is just going and just as a chief guest to just boost the morale of the children. And the children, I have to say, are so loving. When I visit their schools as a chief guest, I can make out that they're so happy to have me there. They'll be cheering, and it's wonderful. And now the community recognizes me, and I'm thankful that I have the opportunity for this platform to address children, and it's an ongoing thing. It'll keep happening. Yeah.
So why there is so much craze of your hospital in your city?
Well,
a lot of people are visiting to you, and they are taking guidance from you.
I'm so grateful for the appreciation that I get. It means so much to me. But it's been a long journey for me to get here. I remember it must be around 18, 19 years when I entered Bhiwandi empty-handed with just a dream and a skill to do good. So it's been a long path from then, and I was lucky that after 5 years of initiating practice in Bhiwandi, I was, I started this hospital. And it's like almost a charted course, as if it was meant to be, And once the hospital came along, I didn't want to just start a normal. I wanted to give latest technology at affordable rates. If you compare our hospital, our technology, the services that we provide, they are on par with not only any hospital in India, I would say internationally as well. And it is my promise to my community in here in Bhiwandi that there will be upgradation and we will try to cater to all their needs as per the latest technologies and latest needs. Like for example, just last year when we had visited UK, I had done a small fellowship at Moorfields. I try to make time every year to upgrade so that I can keep upgrade. It's not just sitting in the same setup. Technology changes now with artificial intelligence. So many things are coming up. So it's a commitment, And if you see our technology in our hospital, we have, like for example, we have an OCT which is very useful for screening diabetic patients. It makes our surgeries more predictable. If nothing is left to chance. Because with technology, why not take advantage of it for the well-being of the patient? Then we have a perimetry machine which is used for neurological cases, for glaucoma cases. We have an IOL master which is for making cataract surgery very precise, and for contact lens fitting. And we have a YAG laser, there will be a green laser, and our infrastructure in the operation theatre is state of the art, So, yes, I'm so grateful that you're using the word craze, and I'm happy that patients understand this from me. But it is my commitment to give patients of Bhiwandi and everywhere for that matter affordable eye care with the latest technology. So, yeah.
So your hospital was inaugurated by many celebrities. So can you tell something more about that?
Yeah. So yes, my hospital was inaugurated by Malaika Arora and her sister Amrita Arora and Arbaz Khan, who's Salman Khan's younger brother. So as you know, Malaika Arora is my first cousin, and we grew up together. And they know me very well. From a young age, I was focused, and what can I say? I had a lot of family support. They understood that dream, and she was so excited when I started this hospital. And they came here to give me their support and backup, and she inaugurated it for me. So that was really overwhelming. I have a very good family support, not only from my own family, extended family. I have a lot of aunts, and so they understood my dream, and and it made a big difference. In fact, on the day, she's famous, and we needed police protection, and patients were like banging on the door. I was afraid that my glass door would break down, and so because of so much of frenzy of the public, she came and she was in and out within like 10 minutes, I think, So it was good, it was nice, but a little scary as well, But yeah, she was there to support me on my day, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So at last, what message you would like to give to our audience?
Message to our audience, I would say, is that life is extremely precious. We have to be grateful for each and every day that we get, and I think we should live to the fullest and make use of every opportunity that comes our way. Not to hold grudges against people. Life is just too short for that. To focus on things, and more than anything, when I get up in the morning, I'm always thanking God that thank you for giving me. Be grateful and chase your dreams. Surround yourself with happy people. Surround yourself with happy scenarios, happy situations, and seek out what you want. And then the sky is the limit. That's what I would say. Just go for it.
So we are so honored and grateful to Dr. Anushka Sharma for giving her precious time and sharing with us a lot of information. Thanks a lot, ma'am, for this.
Thank you so much. It was an honor being here.
So I hope you like this video and keep watching our videos like this, and thanks a lot. Bye for now.
Bye.